Hello, boys and girls. In lesson 6.1, we will calculate the circumference of a circle by using the given formulas. Let's begin by identifying and defining the parts of a circle. We will begin by this point here, which is called the center of the circle. Next, we have this line here, which represents the diameter of a circle. Finally, we have this line here, which represents the radius of a circle. Let's draw a conclusion about the parts of the circle that is shown. If we look at the definition for each of the radius and the diameter, we will see that a radius is a straight line from the center of the circle to the outer edge. The diameter is a straight line that passes through the center of the circle whose endpoints lie on the circle. We can now conclude that the radius is half the length of the diameter. So 2 radii make up a full diameter. So let's find the diameter for the circle below. This part right here represents our radius. So if 2 radii represents your diameter, then 2 times 5 will give us 10 centimeters as our diameter. Inversely, if 2 of our radii is represented by our diameter, then half of a diameter would represent our radius. So to find the radius of this particular diameter, we would take half of 8 to give us 4. Now that we know the basics of a circle, we can continue on to learn about the circumference of a circle. When we are finding the circumference of a circle, we are finding the distance going around the circle. So using this circle above to find the circumference, we are finding how long the outer edge or the outside of the circle is. So if we were to use a piece of yarn or string to go around this whole circle, we would find the length of that yarn when it is stretched out. We have a special formula that we use to find the circumference of the circle. The formula is circumference is equal to pi times diameter, or as we just learned, double the radius times pi, because double the radius is the same as your diameter. So C is represented by the circumference, D is represented by your diameter, and R is represented by your radius. So circumference is equal to pi times diameter, or circumference is equal to twice the radius times pi. When we find circumference, or area for that matter, we are substituting the given values into the formula. So if we are given the diameter, we would replace the D with the diameter, the diameter's value. If we are given the radius, we are substituting R for the value of the radius. If we are given the circumference, we would substitute the circumference for C to find either the diameter or R. Now remember that when we are replacing pi, always use your calculator, not 3.14. 3.14 is an estimation. Pi is equal to 3.14159, etc., etc., etc. So let's use this formula in practice to find the circumference of this particular circle. In this particular circle, we are given the radius. So the two formulas we were given are either circumference is equal to diameter times pi, or circumference is equal to 2 times the radius times pi. In this particular problem, because the radius is given, we can substitute it into this formula. So when we write circumference is equal to 2 times the radius, we substitute r with 7 and then solve on a calculator. So in a calculator, we would be typing in 2 times 7 times pi to give us a really big number. If we look at our problem, it is asking us to round to the nearest hundredths. Therefore, we would want our last number to end in the thousandths place so that we can round to the nearest hundredths. Therefore, we would approximate our circumference to be 43.9 tenths, 8 hundredths, 2 thousandths. Therefore, we will be able to round to the nearest hundredths using the thousandths place. The 2 in the thousandths place will indicate that that 8 will stay the same, giving us a circumference of approximately 43.98 centimeters.